The president kind of stunned the nation with this late-night power grab, where he declared martial law for the first time in decades, and Korea has a long history of that, and essentially banned all political activity, banned parliament, etc., claiming there were North Korea sympathizers that he had to take down. In reality, he lost the parliament election in April, and ever since then he hasn't had a majority in parliament. And the opposition party is doing what opposition parties do around the world, which is, try and block his initiatives and push their own initiatives through. So you've had a bit of divided government there. It sort of came to a head with a vote on the budget. They were demanding different things, and then he just pulled this move, which even his own party is condemning at the moment. So you had opposition lawmakers race to Parliament. They voted to ask him to withdraw the request for martial law. According to the Constitution, that means he must comply with the request. There is some legal ambiguity now that they're trying to work through. We haven't heard from him since Parliament voted, so we're not sure if he'll comply. But people are coming on the streets. There was some clashes with police. Overall, fairly calm on the streets that we could see right now.
Right.
But the big question now is whether he'll comply and drop this whole thing.
I have to ask the question, Daniel, but who has the support of the armed forces of South Korea?
Well, that's a big question right now. It's unclear if the army is going to back him. To the extent, if you get mass protests, are they going to, start shooting in the streets or something like that? I mean, that's a big question. And we've seen in Asia a couple other places where the army has refused to do that this year. Bangladesh, in particular, was one. It doesn't appear like it's coming to that yet, although we'll have to see what the next few hours and days bring. But that's an open question at the moment.
So I guess, okay, let's just pretend that the president says, okay, you guys are repealing martial law, fine. Then what happens? Because we're still clearly at a standstill, and clearly this is a big negotiating tactic that the president was using to get his agenda passed. So then what happens? If the government is in paralysis, what gives?
Well, I mean, they were negotiating a budget, so his view of paralysis and what's actually taking place on the ground are two different things. It looks, there's already people calling for him to be impeached after this. His own ruling party is condemning his move. He's very unpopular anyway. So it's very likely we could see support for him plummet, and he could be impeached and thrown out of office that way. That looks the way it's going, unless the army were to back him and he were to kind of bend the Constitution, which, so far we haven't seen, but we're perilously on the brink of that.